When your test becomes your testimony, finding purpose in pain. Have you ever had that moment when life hands you something so unexpected, so unwanted, that your first thought is simply, this can't be happening to me? A routine checkup, a casual doctor's visit, and suddenly everything changes. I recently had the profound privilege of interviewing Verazonda Walker, a woman whose courage and resilience left me speechless. Her journey embodies the extraordinary transformation from devastation to determination that so many women, particularly Black women, face when confronted with a breast cancer diagnosis. What makes Verazonda remarkable isn't just her survival story, but how she's turned her personal battle into a beacon of hope for countless others walking similar paths. Her testimony has quite literally saved lives. Today, I want to share what I learned from Verazonda and others like her, not just about surviving cancer, but about how faith, community, and purpose can transform our darkest moments into our most powerful testimony. Because here's the truth that Verazonda's journey reveals. Sometimes the test you never wanted becomes the testimony you were born to share. Imagine walking into a doctor's office one day, expecting nothing more than a routine checkup. You're busy, perhaps running a business, raising children, serving your community. Your schedule is packed with meetings, deadlines, responsibilities. Cancer isn't even on your radar. Then comes that call, those words, that diagnosis that stops your world from spinning. This is where Verazonda's story begins and where thousands of women, particularly Black women, find themselves each year. What makes this especially heartbreaking is that young Black women face a 40% higher mortality rate from breast cancer compared to white women of the same age, often due to late diagnosis, lack of resources, and systemic healthcare disparities. But what happens next? What happens after the shock wears off and reality sets in? For Verazonda and many others, three powerful forces emerge that transform the journey from merely surviving to genuinely thriving: faith, community, and purpose. Let's talk about faith first. When everything feels uncertain, when medical reports are confusing, when treatment options are overwhelming, when your body seems to betray you, faith becomes an anchor. Not a blind faith that denies reality, but a grounded faith that says, I don't know how this story ends, but I know who holds the pen. This isn't just spiritual platitude. Studies from institutions like Duke University consistently show that faith and spirituality can significantly impact health outcomes and quality of life during cancer treatment. For many in the Black community, especially, faith isn't separate from health care, it's integral to it. As Mima Carmo discovered after her diagnosis at age 32, faith doesn't just help you endure treatment, it helps you discover purpose within pain. Her story is remarkable. A refugee from Liberia who came to America seeking a better life, Mima was building her career when breast cancer struck. While still undergoing chemotherapy, she made a promise to God. If she survived, she would create an organization to help other young women. That promise became the Tiger Lily Foundation, which now educates and supports thousands of young women of color diagnosed with breast cancer. Today, they provide peer support groups, financial assistance for treatments, transportation, housing during care, and educational workshops on early detection and self advocacy. What's fascinating, and perhaps not coincidental, is how Mima's journey mirrors Verazonda's. Both began with a routine doctor visit that led to a life changing diagnosis. Both faced stage 3 cancer that threatened everything. And both found that their faith didn't just sustain them, it gave them a mission larger than themselves. As Verazonda emphasized in our conversation, faith doesn't just get you through, it gives you a reason to get through. But faith alone isn't enough. We weren't designed to face our battles in isolation. This brings me to the second transformative force: community. There's a saying in many Black churches: I'm blessed to be a blessing. This philosophy underpins organizations like Sisters Network Inc., founded by Karen Eubanks Jackson after her own battle with breast cancer. Today, it's the nation's largest African American breast cancer survivorship organization with over 40 affiliate chapters. What makes Sisters Network remarkable isn't just their practical support, though that's substantial. It's their Stop the Silence campaign, which encourages open dialogue and testimony sharing rooted explicitly in Christian faith values. Their message is clear: your test is your testimony. Through church based outreach events, screenings, workshops, and spiritual counseling alongside clinical care, they ensure no one walks alone, physically or spiritually, through illness, recovery, grief, or post cancer uncertainty. The results speak volumes: dramatic increase in local screening rates, community engagement, and tens of thousands served annually through both practical aid and spiritual encouragement. This mirrors what Marissa Thomas and Jasmine Sowers created with For the Breast of Us after both were diagnosed under age 45. Recognizing the isolation and lack of representation in mainstream survivor spaces, they built online forums connecting thousands nationwide, created annual retreats focused on healing beyond medical milestones, and developed resource guides tailored culturally, religiously, and socially for BIPOC patients, survivors, and caregivers. Their organization's motto, "We're more than pink ribbons, we're real people," captures exactly what Verazonda emphasized in our conversation: the power of being seen, heard, and supported as a whole person, not just as a patient. Which brings me to the third transformative force: purpose. There's something profound that happens when you realize your struggle might become someone else's strength. When you understand that your story, even the painful chapters, might be exactly what someone else needs to hear to keep going. This is where the transformation from victim to advocate often begins. For Verazonda, as for many others, the cancer journey revealed a purpose larger than personal survival. It became about creating care packs for other cancer patients, about speaking up for those who couldn't advocate for themselves, about ensuring no one else would feel as alone or unprepared as she initially did. This pattern repeats across organizations led by survivors. And Karen Jackson of Sisters Network didn't just survive against the odds, she refused to let silence claim another generation. Instead, she built a movement where every survivor could be heard, healed, and helped regardless of background, beliefs, or circumstances. Her organization has won congressional commendations and public health awards while remaining grassroots focused and led by survivors for survivors and families. More importantly, they've broadened the definition of survivorship itself, not just living past disease, but living with a new mission, ministry, and community service mindset. This is the alchemy that Verazonda and others like her demonstrate, turning personal pain into collective purpose. But let's be honest, this transformation isn't instant and it isn't easy. There are dark nights when faith feels distant, days when community seems absent, moments when purpose feels impossible to find. That's why what these women have built is so vital. Because on the days when your own faith falters, someone else's can carry you. When your strength fails, community can sustain you. When your purpose seems unclear, seeing others who've walked your path and found meaning can reignite your hope. So, what does this mean for you listening today? Maybe you're facing your own diagnosis. Maybe you're supporting someone who is. Or maybe your battle isn't cancer at all, but some other unexpected challenge that's turned your world upside down. Whatever your situation, three powerful truths emerge from Verazonda's story and the stories of organizations like Tiger Lily Foundation, For the Breast of Us, and Sisters Network. First, faith and purpose can carry you through the darkest times. No matter how overwhelming the diagnosis or treatment, holding on to faith and a sense of purpose provides strength when everything else feels uncertain. Second, no one should fight alone. Community matters. Support systems, whether through family, friends, or initiatives like care packs for cancer patients, are vital in helping individuals feel seen and supported during their journey. And third, your story has power. Share it to inspire others. Even in pain and struggle, sharing your testimony can uplift others facing similar battles and remind them they are not alone. These aren't just nice ideas, they're lifelines. They're the difference between merely surviving and truly thriving, between being defined by your diagnosis and defining your own legacy. I want to challenge you today, right now. Not tomorrow, not next week, but in this moment. If you're navigating your own storm, break the silence. Reach out today, not when you feel strong enough or when it's convenient. The very act of reaching out is strength. Text someone, call someone, join an online community. Find your sisters network, your Tiger Lily Foundation, your For the Breast of Us. They are waiting for you. If you know someone facing a battle, whether it's cancer or any life altering challenge, don't wait for the right moment to reach out. There is no perfect time, no perfect words. Send that text, make that call, drop off that care pack. Your presence matters more than your perfection. And if you've walked through the fire and come out the other side, your testimony isn't complete until it's shared. Your scars are not just marks of what you've endured, they're maps for others still finding their way. Share your story, start a support group, volunteer, become the person you needed when you were in the darkness. Because that's what Verazonda Walker showed us. Our deepest wounds often become our greatest gifts to others. When life hands you something unexpected, something unwanted, something that makes you think, this can't be happening to me, remember that your story doesn't end with diagnosis. It doesn't end with treatment. It doesn't even end with remission. Your story continues as long as you have breath to tell it. And in the telling, in the sharing, in the reaching back to help others forward, that's where purpose emerges from pain. That's where your test truly becomes your testimony. And that testimony, it might just be the light that guides someone else home. Thank you.